In this video, I'm going to be talking about the progression made on my final year project. To start off quickly with aims and objectives, the aim is to create an immersive cybersecurity educational game, address the lack of comprehensive cybersecurity educational games, and provide real-world cybersecurity training. As for the objectives, is to design engaging and realistic scenarios on cybersecurity, implement NPC interactions to simulate cybersecurity incidents, and a reward and punishment system dependent on player choices, which will be fed by the player through the changing environment, as well as the rewards and punishments the player will receive. To start off with the project stakeholders, the project is being created in collaboration with the IBM organization. The IBM's primary role in the project is to oversee the progression of the project and make sure that the project stays within the set of criteria. The IBM interest in the project is to create an immersive game which will test the knowledge of the players and also provide a fun and engaging experience. The IBM team influences the project by providing feedback on the project and pushing forward new ideas. So the primary aim here is to enhance the skills building program that the IBM offers and basically gamify it. So rather than offering it in a package where the person basically has to read or watch various different videos. In this situation, the player will basically play a game where they have to answer multiple choice questions in an office environment, as well as the player will interact with the various different NPCs. As for secondary stakeholders, game testers, they'll find and then they identify any bugs and glitches found in the game, ensure game stability and performance, as well as gameplay balance, and provide feedback on the game. As for the end users, it's for them to engage with the game and provide valuable feedback to us, participate in surveys to share their opinions on the game, and user opinion can influence the direction of the game in the future. So for the game testers, obviously in later stages, before the game will be either put out for sale, the game will have to be adequately checked for any bugs and glitches, as well as for any performance issues or stability, to make sure that the game can run smoothly for majority of the player base. As for the end users, once either through early access or other forms, once the end users will get their hands on the game, the feedback that they'll be able to provide to us either through surveys or any other forms will definitely have a big impact on what direction the game can take in the future. Formal requirements. So to start off with the functional requirements, core game mechanics are in completion and need some polishing and adjusting. Advanced features are still in progress but on track, and some desirable and luxury features are pending implementation. So at the moment, a lot of core mechanics such as player movement, the level design, or interactions with different facilities that is already implemented and working basically, along with the end game score system, where it will show the player the score, how many questions they answered correctly and incorrectly, as well as what was the health of the facility. However, all they just need is some proper textures and a bit of polishing to make it look up to standard. Certain other features have not started progression yet, but soon will soon we'll get into the development. As for the non-functional requirements, performance optimization and load times reductions are in a good spot. User interface tutorials and visual styles are in progress but on track. Luxury features currently on pending, with other core features taking priority. So as seen on the in the picture, performance and resolution has the status for complete, and while this can change later down the line, at the moment these features, these non-functional requirements are working without a problem, and will be adjusted appropriately if anything changes. As for the user interface, tutorial and visual style, these are currently in progress, with the user interface being implemented in the game but needing some polishing up, and with the tutorial starting development. System architecture. So with the user interface, UI design for the game is to be smooth and clean, displaying only necessary information, minimal distraction to keep players focused on the tasks, and interactive HUD with real-time notifications in progress. So because the player, the game will be quite fast-paced, to put pressure on the player as a form of retaining information better. We don't want the player to be bombarded with too much information. Either be useless information that the player doesn't need to know, or it can be put in a different way. As for the interactive HUD, the player will receive notifications telling him that a certain facility is somewhere in the office building, needs attending, and the player will have a set amount of time to go and interact with that facility or an NPC. Play interaction with NPCs and different facilities. Interaction with facilities and NPCs will be different. Player choices will have an impact on the whole company. So at the moment the game does have interaction with facilities, which works appropriately at the moment, because there are no NPCs yet, they haven't been implemented yet. The player cannot interact with them. As for how different the interactions between the facilities and NPCs will be different, the major change will be in questions, however, as well as in how the player will interact. When it comes to the facilities, it will always be that the player has to approach it and interact with it, whereas for the player, it will either be the player having to approach the NPC, or the NPC will approach the player, which can sort of throw him off or her off balance. But that will be part of the mechanic in the game, as well as plans are to have certain NPCs acting as sort of bad actors, and the player has to find them, and if he presents them sort of with a question, and if the player answers that question correctly, they are then kicked out. Game flow. The game starts with a quick introduction and an option to play the tutorial. Players will navigate through the building to reach different facilities and NPCs. As the timer counts down, more events will pop up to put pressure on the player. So at the beginning, the player will have the option to play the tutorial or not. That is entirely up to them. However, at the beginning of each game, there will be a small quick introduction that will explain simple information to the player. Since there are going to be 3 different floors, the player will have to navigate through 3 of these different floors since there's a chance that the player will either have to go to a facility that is located on one of these floors or find an NPC there. As the timer counts down, more events will pop up to put pressure on the player, so that will involve the player starting to receive more pop-ups, basically, about different facilities or NPCs need an interaction with to answer the questions. Therefore, it's important that sort of the player doesn't really spend too much time on a single question or sort of neglects one for too long and then can't make it to it. As for the updated time schedule, the development stage saw major adjustment that prioritized core gameplay. Changes were made to prioritize certain features over others, while others were allocated more development time. Other development stages are not yet impacted at this stage of the development. So, like I said, the only stage to be impacted is the development stage that had some adjustments made. Certain features were started. The implementation of certain features was started earlier than others. For example, like the main menu that had an adjustment made. As we can see by the X that has been crossed out and the darker green color indicating the week, the new week, the adjusted week where the progress was started on. And the creating the level that has been allocated more time to polish out and make sure that the levels are finished to the appropriate standard. That's the end of the presentation. Thank you.